This is Stamp for Kids, Chapter 10, Truth Tellers, 1890 to 1911. Another thing both Du Bois and Washington definitely agreed on was that black people were not totally innocent when it came to white people punishing them harshly. Yep, you heard that right. It took a young anti-racist black woman to set these men straight, a woman who believed that freedom had to include justice and equality. Her name was Ida B. Wells-Barnett. Let's pause. Racist ideas have lived in people's minds for hundreds of years. But all along the way, there were people who had anti-racist ideas. Pay close attention to them. They are like guideposts that have shown us the way from the beginning. They guide us even today. Let's unpause. Remember that thing about rope I mentioned at the beginning of this journey? How it can be used to tie, pull, hold, and lift? Well, sometimes rope can also be used as a weapon, used to create nooses to hang or lynch people. What's lynching? It was a way to permanently punish black people by killing them as punishment for crimes they often did not commit. It was done to remind black people that white people had complete power over them, even to end their lives. Wells-Barnett was a journalist who investigated lynchings. Like other leaders, Wells-Barnett used writing to share her ideas. Wells-Barnett exposed the truth. She stood up against racist terror when black male leaders, including W.E.B. Du Bois, would not. While others spent their lives tied to assimilationist and racist ideas, Ida B. Wells-Barnett was anchored by ideas that were anti-racist. She said, "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them." She turned the light of truth on all racist wrongs. Later, she would use those ideas in the suffrage movement, which helped women get the right to vote with the passing of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. But by women, the country meant white women. And again, Wells-Barnett worked tirelessly to challenge this, to remind people that black women must also be included. Another person who tried to set Du Bois straight was Franz Boas, a German immigrant who had become one of America's most important anthropologists, an expert on what makes human beings human. He pointed out the history of black people before they got to America and how that history, African history, wasn't one of inferiority. Instead, it was one of glorious empires like those of Ghana, Mali, and Songhai, full of intellects and innovators. These anti-racist truth tellers battled with racist liars. Remember that freedom in the United States, liberation for all, has been a constant battle between enslavers and those enslaved, between the Union, North, and the Confederacy, South, between leaders filled with contradictions and leaders free of them, between racism and anti-racism. There have been people pulling at one end of the rope for freedom and those pulling at the other end for oppression, and they used every tool imaginable. They used writing and books. They used weapons and war. They used speeches and activism. They used laws and education. And as technology evolved, they also used movies.